Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Kicking Doors Winners Dinner. My name is Sbu Leope and I'm going to be your MC for tonight. To kick off the evening without wasting any time, I'd like to call upon Naima McLean to come and open up this evening in true leadership 2020 style. Please put your hands together for Naima McLean.
I wish that I could see the colors of your inner truth so bright in front of me. I wish true love would find me, wrap his beautifully built hands around me and tell me that he has no intention of ever letting go, that he loves himself enough to know that he deserves me. I wish I could eat sushi, mango, grapes, peri-peri chicken with my fingers every day and not get a stomach ache. I wish an hour workout took 5 minutes, that my thighs rubbing together did not cause eczema, and the more my butt grew, the sexier I felt. I wish I never forget the knowing of God, Allah, and my ancestors that sit on the edge of my heart, feet dangling, feeling content. I wish that our next generation of entrepreneurs unfold Africa's true purpose and through collaborative efforts, define a new future.
Africa is indeed the place to be right now. Do you agree? The confidence, the strength, the entrepreneurs, the possibilities are amazing, and they're here for all of us to seize. Now, there are two powerful entities that, of course, made this night possible, but also are at the helm of making sure that Africa and all its people seize the opportunities. That is ABN 360 and Leadership 2020.
Ladies and gents, thank you so much for coming tonight. This is quite an honor to have all of you guys for this prestigious evening. It really means a lot to us. A couple of months ago, it was just a dream with the team at Leadership 2020, with the team at CNBC Africa, with the team at Forbes, with the team at ABN 360. And we were just talking about it in the midst of a lot of controversy that was going on in the media around our work and the work that we do. And, you know, brilliant minds got together on one table to come up with this awesome television show and awesome movement. Nick and the team, for many years, we've been trying to pitch these ideas to different television channels, obviously coming from the SABC background, a lot of times pitching it to the SABC, pitching the entrepreneurship movement and pitching the work that we do as a foundation, and it just never has really seen the light of day. But I really do think by being on this channel, CNBC Africa, and having partners like yourselves, we're going to be game-changing, we're going to be trend-setting, and very soon we're going to be having a lot of these types of programming popping up on every channel. And that's exactly what we seek to do. We want to assist government in making entrepreneurship cool. We want to help entrepreneurs start their own businesses and see the ideas come to fruition by mingling with established entrepreneurs and learning from people that have done well, so they can go out there and put their ideas or implement their ideas, employ people, make a difference in this country. Kicking Doors, the name came from us having to kick down doors. I was involved in an interesting controversy a couple of months ago. I own the first 100% black-owned energy drink brand, together with a couple of my other partners. We've got a nuclear physicist in the team, we've got a chemical engineer in the team, we've got a strategist, we've got a marketer, we've got an interesting bunch of people that have created More Fire as the first 100% black-owned African drink brand. The reason why we created it, we feel that a lot of us in this continent, we get to consume things that come from international platforms or that come from the Western world. They just dump them here. They blast us with a lot of advertising above the line, below the line. But it is high time that Africa starts creating its own. Africa starts creating its own brands. Africa starts owning its own products. You know, one wise person once said, you ought to create your own brand for other people to consume, because if you don't, you are going to continue, not maybe, you're going to continue to consume other people's brands to make yourself feel better. And then came in the picture CNBC and Forbes, people that recognize entrepreneurship, platforms that are about promoting business, platforms that are about changing the African landscape, which is a beautiful thing. And the narrative has changed. It's no longer just South Africa, but it's Africa. So having created this drink, we got a recognition from Forbes in the US, and we had an article that was written by Forbes.com as one of the energy drink, one of the beverage companies that are making strides on the African continent, together with two other companies, one from Tanzania and one from Nigeria. So, we're excited. We shared the link on social media and everybody was excited. Geez, congratulations, guys. More Fire is growing in leaps and bounds. You guys are getting recognized by Forbes US. And then we shared the sharing thing on all over social media. People are bright out there, especially young people. Somebody created an awesome mock-up cover of myself holding my famous can. Somebody get me a can there. I don't feel good without holding it. And it's always hold it all the time. It's my date wherever I go. Like, I've got my brand, I live my brand, I drink my brand, I talk my brand, I sleep my brand, I scream my brand, I cry my brand. It is my brand. It's my baby. I want to see it grow. I want to make a difference with this brand. Now we vote it. Now you can open it. When you open it, it says tick. So when they created this beautiful mock-up cover of me holding this brand on the cover of Forbes, I liked it. I was like, geez, it's a nice cover, and it's always in a dream of mine to be on the cover of Forbes. So I made it my profile picture, right, across all my social media platforms, and then I shared it, and people started retweeting it and resharing it and so forth. And I think Forbes offices, CNBC Africa offices, started getting emails or people asking, like, when is the cover with Sbu coming out, But the interesting thing is the cover that the people at Forbes Africa had been working on for months is the cover of the most respected, the richest man in Africa, Mr. Aliko Dangote. And that cover was going to come out with the latest billionaires list. And guess which cover the whole country is talking about? When that happened, they sent out a press release. Press release says, whoever fabricated that cover, we have nothing to do with it, obviously protecting their brand, and they're leaving me out in the cold. And you know how people can be. Media picks it up, tabloids write as if I'm a fraud. I fabricated a cover with myself on the cover of Forbes. You have created a dialogue around PR, around branding, around entrepreneurship, around marketing, around defamation of character, around copyright infringement, around all sorts of different things. And which was a beautiful thing, because we went straight up to the Forbes Africa offices, we had a chat, and instead of us having to fight like good people, we all came up with great ideas to say, why don't we just all become friends? Let's come up with something awesome that's going to empower the nation. This is who we are. This is what we are about. This is what our foundation does. These are the results we've had over the past decade, and let's form something beautiful. And that was the birth of Kicking Doors.
It's not just like a studio interview. People get to see what it is that you do, what you're about, what your business is about, and in my case, the products that I make. People got to, had an opportunity to see all of that, and I believe that's why they then contacted me, because I also had someone wanting me to cook for them because they saw the facility that I was using, so they wanted to do like a contract packing agreement with me, which is amazing. So it's a very awesome platform, and it can open doors for many, many more entrepreneurs.
For us as a young brand, it's important for more and more people to know about the brand. I remember the following day, I think the certain people we were trying to get hold of for quite a while, trying to clinch some deal, and apparently they called us to table.
Tonight, I would like for you guys to experience what the Mind Clinic is all about by calling upon on stage to give us the Mind Clinic. I don't know if he's around. He is around. I don't know where he's sitting. Mr. Lindanduli. Please give a big round of applause to Mr. Lindanduli.
When we're talking Mind Clinic, today we want to focus on the word shift. Shift is critical. In business, if you don't move with the bounce of the ball, you are in trouble. Losers always focus where the ball bounced last time. but winners focus where the ball is going to bounce next time. So we need to understand that Shift S talks about social relationships. As an entrepreneur, it's critical for you to network. But H talk about habits of growth, habits of greatness. It's critical that you are an investor, you invest in yourself, and you are always learning. If you look at the word learn, if you delete an L, you are left with N, which means if I want to be a great earner, I must first be a great learner. That is why here we've got people who've been in business for a very long time so that they can help us with our own shift. But I talks about inputs. What is it that you are putting into your business so that you are able to see the outputs of your business? Your input will always determine your output. But F talks about being fruitful. You have to be fruitful for shift to happen in your life, which means you don't sleep like everyone. If everyone sleeps for 6 hours or 5 hours, you don't sleep like that. You sleep as if you are just taking bites or snacks. Because if you are taking a snack, it means you are not sleeping for life. You are sneaking, so you are snacking so that you can get something and keep going. We've got more fire now, which means you don't have to spend too much time sleeping. More fire will give you the energy and revitalize your mind. But T, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs, it talks about trouble. Let me be honest with you, trouble will always be there as an entrepreneur. Don't think that if you're an entrepreneur, all doors will be opened. That is why we're saying kick the doors. If the doors are not opening, kick the doors. But you don't kick them like a fool. You kick them like a wise man, which means you knock today and they don't open, but not every door that is closed is locked. Which means try to get closer to the door and open the door and get in. Shift, ladies and gentlemen, talks about new season. Your new season will bring about new sights, which means you'll see different things that you've never seen before. Your new season will bring about new sounds, which means the sound will change because your season is changing. But your new season will bring about your new success. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all success and I wish you all the best. Be brilliant. Be the best you were created to be. You are wired to win. You are sentenced to succeed. You are crafted for greatness. No one can do what you do the way you do it, especially when you're doing it.
It's been great in terms of it gave the company a better platform. We connected with Sonia Booth, who actually mentioned me on Twitter, which was really nice as well. And overall, people have been supportive and they showed interest in the company as well. We had a lot of new clients as well coming on saying, listen, we've seen you on CNBC Africa on 2 shows. We want to better ourselves in terms of finance. So it's been well.
Well, I think it's a wonderful platform because Sbu has so many different guests on the show. So it's a very wide and broad spectrum of guests. So people are able to get a lot of information, and in a very short space of time, the way he interviews, his style of interviewing, everything is fabulous. And I think it also gives the youth tremendous confidence because Sbu is somebody you want to follow. And I mean, he has been such a profound leader, especially to the youth of today.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks very much.
I'd love for you to have a chat with us and tell us a little bit about your background and some of the entrepreneurial through your entrepreneurial journey, some of the projects that you've been a part of or some of the companies that you started. And I do know you've also had to turn around some big companies into being profitable and your current and future projects.
So I founded a number of companies. It started with a very simple concept around win-win. And I was very inspired by some of the entrepreneurs here. But some of the things that I learned was maybe the word entrepreneurship in Africa is the wrong word. Because my experience is that it's much more about a collective and a spirit of enterprise. It's not a journey for an individual on their own. In fact, the better one's business is about the teams that are in those businesses winning, and not just about one individual. And so I think for me, my lesson was how do we create winning teams? And I eventually built a business called Teamship. So I looked at what's beyond leadership, what's the next step or the next bounce of the ball, and where's that? And it's really around getting communities and people to work together. And very often what I find is, and this is where I got inspired this evening, is listening to young people. And I've never been successful if I work for money. It just didn't work. I'm probably unemployable, actually. But I get very excited because I think people will fight for a right but they'll die for a cause. And if you've got a massive transformational purpose, that's possibly the most important ingredient to create that spirit of enterprise. And it's like yeast; it makes your bread rise. And I think I think maybe these entrepreneurs are very, very unique Africans. And the last 4 letters of being an African is I can. One of the things that we noticed a long time ago is what parents really want the most out of their children is for them to be financially self-sufficient and upstanding citizens in the countries that they serve and they operate. But we're missing a very, very important subject at school, and it's called how to make money. We don't have that as a subject. So we got to learn after school in the markets and get street smart savvy. And so we're developing not micro franchises, but what we call micro friendchises. And these are absolutely bulletproof small businesses that teach and people can work together, where it's not about the outside branded, but it's about how do we learn to run businesses, although they are absolutely diversified.
To my right, I've got a gentleman called George Olo. Can you tell us a little bit about your history, sir, and also when the entrepreneurial bug bit you?
In 1993, I started the first African-owned. I want to clarify this. When I grew up, there was no such thing as black. It was when you speak English, you'd say a non-white or a non-European. There was no such thing as blacks. I'm an African. I'm from Africa. Everybody else is Indian because it comes from India. Everybody else is Italian because it comes from Italian. So I started the first African-owned healthcare company. And within 4 years, I've taken 65,000 members from Bonitas and Medscape. I'm going to say this because I want you to understand determination is the greatest nation in the world. Unfortunately, with Africans, we define our lives by the watches we wear, the cars we drive. And I learned from the mistakes I made. And all I can say to you right now as I sit here, all of us have the inherent ability. We have all been given all things pertaining to life. We all have 24 hours to do the best for ourselves but what must drive you is not a dollar sign. You're going to be driven by making a difference in somebody's life.
One thing that we realized from the beginning is that the only way that we can be prosperous here in South Africa is if the countries around us are prosperous as well. Because it will always be a problem if there's somebody that doesn't have what we have. And, you know, people come to South Africa and they see the things that are happening here and they say, man, this could never happen in wherever. You know, I won't name any other countries, but that's the kind of sentiment that you get. Everybody wants to come to South Africa because they say, oh, no, you know, this is first world. You know, I couldn't see something like this happening. And just to kind of quote Wayne Dyer, who George also kind of turned me on to, which I'd never even heard of this guy before. He said one thing that's kind of changed my life since I listened to him. And he said, you'll believe it, or you'll see it when you believe it. So I think a lot of times we take the other approach, you know, which was my problem in the beginning.
Then we've got a section on the show that's called Inside a C-Suite. This is where we go to women CEOs and women that have done extremely well, even entrepreneurs who are of the highest level, top quality in Africa.
They've given me 45 seconds, so I'm gonna make this quick. You know those Americans who think they coming home when they come here. You know the one, they get off the plane, they kiss the ground. That wasn't me. I came following a woman. So they gave me a show with women. It's really, quite simple. At 18 years old, my mother had a nervous breakdown, and she's one of the most powerful women I'd ever met, I'd ever come in contact with. Everyone thinks their mother is strong, right? We got strong mothers. When I saw my mother go through a breakdown, I spent time with my psychiatrist, and I asked, what was going on? He broke down to me what was really happening in terms of the narrative in her mind. What was happening between the gap between how she saw herself and the pressure she was facing in society. So on the one side, she saw herself as a particular way, a strong character, but there was a huge gap in terms of what she was facing. And the psychiatrist explained to me that in this gap is where you have depression and a lot of extraordinary dynamics that happen in the mind. So I've been on this massive journey, just sort of studying the neuroscience of behavior, understanding the suffragette movement for women. That's why I started writing around gender equality many, many years ago, long before I started writing for Destiny. I've been writing for Destiny for 7 years, but long before that, I've been writing about gender equality because I have a mission. I really want to change the narrative in terms of how we see women. The idea of patriarchy must be destroyed, and we must build a more equal society. We've had the extraordinary privilege and honor to be able to go into offices of women like Sbu Leope, who has started Africa's first women-owned airline. She's not fronted by nobody. This is her baby. Yes, powerful, powerful women. Africa's first luxury tea brand, just phenomenal human beings. And we go to the offices and we ask them to talk. And most of the women have said to us, we're only doing this interview because it's you guys. They've said explicitly, you haven't seen Sbu on many interviews, have you? She says because of what you guys are standing for, that you're fighting for the youth. And I think it's perfect that we're next to Wits with so many young, phenomenal, inspiring young leaders that are taking the country forward and shifting the narrative around the potential.
For us, it was, I found that a lot of people that are close to us don't actually know what we do or can't really articulate what we do. They sort of know we're sort of in their space. So it was quite nice because they recognize us, they already know who we are, but it was quite nice to also then for them to hear from our mouths and to see what we do. Even like as simple as my parents got a better understanding of what I do, and some of the clients that we've been trying to talk to are able to place us in their minds because they have a better idea of what we do.
Firstly, the response has been quite incredible. I've been getting a lot of phone calls. Just to share testimony, I got even an email from UK. So the response has been great. Yeah, the exposure. I've been meeting great people. That also going to benefit my business and what I do. So the response has been incredible.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What you've experienced tonight and what you continue to experience through Leadership 2020 and our Kicking Doors TV show that has been able to profile some of the most amazing up-and-coming young entrepreneurs that you saw a little bit earlier on is because of all these wonderful people here. They range from entrepreneurs, best-selling authors, speakers, students, business owners, professionals, whatever their fields are. These are progressive people, and these are the people that are moving Africa to the next level.